our big story now. Turkey intercepts Greece's F-16 fighter jets over the Mediterranean as tensions continue to escalate between the two NATO allies. Turkish Defense Ministry said that the aircraft prevented 6 Greek F-16 jets from entering an area where Ankara is conducting maritime activity. Meanwhile, Greek media reported that Turkish aircraft harassed the jets which were returning to their base. This comes as Greece began conducting a joint Air Force drill with the UAE in the Mediterranean. Meanwhile, Germany has said that the European Union should talk to Turkey while asserting its support to Greece.
I believe that all of us, as member states of the European Union, must of course take Greece's rights and concerns very seriously and support them when they are in the right. Nevertheless, I have always argued for the situation not to escalate further, and to an extent that is only possible if we keep talking to both sides.
European Union has threatened sanctions against Ankara if it doesn't de-escalate.
First, you know that now we are listing personalities. We can pass to list assets, ships. We can pass to sanctions the participation on the activities that we consider illegal. It means everything related with the working on these kind of activities, banning prohibiting the use of European ports, European capacities, technology.
Tensions have been escalating between Greece and Turkey over gas exploration rights in the Mediterranean. Greek armed forces were put on alert after Turkey sent a drilling ship to disputed region, following which Ankara warned Athens of retaliation. Greece has also signed a deal with Egypt to form an exclusive economic zone in the Mediterranean. This was done to counter a similar agreement between Turkey and Libya. Now, for more on this, we have with us political analyst Onur Erim, who's joining us from Istanbul. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question to you is, the two NATO members have been locked in this dispute for a while now over hydrocarbon resources. Exactly how are these developments and this decision to hold firing exercises going to affect this ongoing dispute?
Well, we know for years that, especially when it comes to issues of border and rights, Greece has been repeatedly having problems with the government of Turkey. And this, the latest over the hydrocarbon deposits, especially in the East Mediterranean, is not a surprise. As you could see, though, the reaction from the world on this is maybe a bit sided on Greece's side, especially on the part of the EU. But even Chancellor Merkel, in her statement, has said, if the Greeks were right. Now, we all know that this is a very basic issue. You don't need to go through deliberations of days, hours, and weeks to understand who is right and who is wrong on this matter. It's a very, very simple case that Turkey is putting forward. As you could see, there is no direct or indirect opposition to that from NATO, from EU, from the UN, and almost all the Western nations, with the exception of France. But it's a basic issue. What the Greek government is trying to put down, and I really don't want to go into detail, not to bore your viewers, is that there is a little island of Mace that has a very, very small frontage on the right by Turkey. It's actually a suitable distance away from Turkey. The Greeks are trying to lay down that to make a case to claim a bigger portion of their so-called rights in the East Mediterranean. Now, this is, first of all, not logical, but let's put logic aside for a second. All the international conventions on this do not include islands of the mainland as a borderline. And that is the biggest reason why you can see almost all the Western nations, NATO, EU, or the UN or anybody else taking a firm and a definitive stand on the side of Greece. What they are trying or hoping to do, as EU's favorite spoiled child, they're trying to side with Greece, maybe somewhat politically, on the media. But when it comes down to, paper and pen, when it comes down to conventions and agreements, you can see, with possibly the exception of France, nobody will side with Greece on this matter, because they can't. Because if they had accepted undermining the rule of international law on this issue, yes, where islands may be counted as a borderline, then they will also have problems. Italy will not accept this. UK will not accept this, and so on.
I was actually going to come to that, but since you've explained that so well, my next question to you is, are there perhaps other factors as well that could have led to the worsening of these relations between Greece and Turkey?
The problem, the situation in and of itself is not something new, as I said. It's been going on for decades, the problems between Turkey and Greece, especially when it comes to the border issues. But are there right now more, complementing facts and situations to this? Yes. France, for no apparent reason, is trying to put Macron, especially, I shouldn't say maybe France. Macron is trying to put his nose into this situation where they have no, right at all. But we see that he just walked away with a 10 fighter or 20 fighter jet sails to Greece out of this, intervention on their side. There's also the problem, or also seems to be shifting to Turkey's stand in Libya, as well as Turkey's not much existing relationship with Egypt. So it's actually the same problem of border issues, but we're now seeing these tensions arise with interventions by other parties and in other parts of the world, and in other situations, as I said, like Libya, like Egypt. And to a certain degree, it's also being brushed against the situation in Syria and possibly Turkish-Israeli relationship as well. So right, it's an age-old problem, okay, trying to be lived in different areas and under different situations.
And also, lastly, just to understand this better, how dangerous can this standoff prove to be? Are these tensions in any way likely to spill over into violence, maybe?
I would very much doubt that. First of all, let's not forget, Turkey and Greece are NATO members. By that convention, they cannot fight each other to begin with. I don't think any of the Western countries would actually allow it to that. To be honest with you, if you're asking that, would this lead to any kind of a military interference by either side? I would doubt that very much. I hope that day never comes, but the day that there's a military attack on either side between Turkey and Greece would be the day that we would start living, and I hope we never do the Third World War. So I don't think it will ever happen.
Okay. All right, Redam, thank you so much for all these details. We will definitely keep tracking this story as and when we have more.